What if your customers are trying to find your business online, but instead of finding you, they find your competitors? Now, more than ever, it's time to make sure you have the right SEO to make your business stand out online. Welcome to Go Mind Your Business with Terry Bork, presented by Extreme Marketing Concepts, putting your business in front of the hungry herd of buyers who are looking for you right now. Extreme Marketing Concepts, helping you drive more traffic, dominate the market, and crush your competition. And now, here's Terry.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Go Mind Your Business. My name is Terry Bork, and I'm so excited to see you all this morning. I have an amazing guest with me. I think you guys are going to be so excited to meet her. Her name is Shelly Hitz, and she helps people publish that book that they always wanted to and get something online going for themselves. I met Shelly in NAMS for the first time in August, and I was so impressed with her, and I'm really excited to share her with you today. So please help me welcome Shelly Hitz to our program. Welcome, Shelly.
Thank you, Terry. I'm excited to be here, and it was a joy meeting you at NAMS as well. I had just a blast there and met so many great people. So thank you for the opportunity today to come and hang out with you and hopefully help some people, just in this whole process of thinking about writing a book or publishing or marketing.
Oh, so great, and I'm really excited to have you here today as well. Let me share you with our listeners a little bit so they can know who you are and what you're all about. And forgive me, guys, I'm going to look at her bio here just so I get it all in. Shelly Hitz is an award-winning and internationally known best-selling author, and she's also the owner of trainingauthors.com. And she's passionate about helping authors succeed in publishing and marketing their books. She teaches from personal experience, and she's been writing and publishing books since 2008. And she's published over 30 books, including print, ebook, and audiobook formats. And at the end of the show today, Shelly has some great specials for us, so you're going to want to stick around, and you're going to want to get that free gift that she has for you. So be sure to listen in so you can take advantage of that special opportunity. So again, Shelly, welcome to our program today. You have such a great bio.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. So Shelly, tell me, why is publishing a book so important for our listeners to achieve greater success in their business?
I have seen it help me personally in so many different ways, publishing a book. I was a speaker before as an author, and having a published book allowed me to reach and help so many more people. I have published nonfiction books in many different genres, but being at a talk, I was able to offer someone, a book that allows them to go deeper into the topic, allows me to help them. And so if you have a passion about a certain topic, whether it's a technical topic, whether it's, helping someone in emotional wholeness or fitness or whatever it is that you personally have to offer, you can help so many more people when you put that information and that knowledge that you have in a book. When I first started publishing, I would get emails from people around the world that were reading my book and were being impacted in life-changing ways. And it was just humbling because I'm thinking, this person's emailing me from South Africa or from Japan or Venezuela, and you can begin to have an international business like when you start publishing, and so you can reach so many more people. Another thing that can really help when you publish a book is that it obviously diversifies your income, and it's great to be able to get a paycheck in your bank account, money deposited in your bank account every month from publishing royalties. And I'm not going to candy coat it. You're probably not going to earn a full-time income from your books, but like my husband and I often say, every drip counts. We have streams of income from so many different places, and every piece of it helps. And so when you can diversify your income and have income coming from different sources, it can really help your lifestyle and just everything else that you want to accomplish in life. And along with reaching more people, diversifying your income, publishing a book does give you credibility. There's a statistic that say over 80% of people want to publish a book someday. However, most people don't. I haven't found that the exact statistic, but someone was estimating maybe only 1% of those 80% actually publish a book. And so when you publish a book, even though there are a ton of people that have published a book these days, you're still in the minority, and it gives you that credibility of being a published author. And then, if you're able to be an award-winning author or a best-selling author, you can add that into your bio. And so it adds that additional credibility. A print book can also be a business card. How many times have you thrown away a print book, Terry?
I've never thrown away a print book, Shelley, ever. They're on my shelf. And if I get an opportunity to get a signed book from somebody I know that's written a book, it's even a greater thrill for me.
Exactly, and that's my point. Like I just can't do it. Like even if it's a book that I'm not interested in, I just can't throw it away. So people will either donate it to a charity, which somebody else will find it, or they'll keep it on their shelves. And you know what? They'll probably remember you. So if you're trying to get leads for your business, a print book is a great way, but you can also get more leads for your business through eBooks. And I have done that successfully by having my book price matched on Amazon. So I have an ebook that is free on Amazon all the time, and it's called Self-Publishing Books 101. And I optimized it for the keyword self-publishing books. So if you look on Amazon, you search self-publishing books, you're going to see my book pop up on the front page. Now, isn't that great visibility for my business?
Oh, I think that's outstanding visibility. I mean, you're on the first page, so people can find you, and
exactly.
Everybody can see it. So how great is that? And it's free, so everybody will take advantage of it.
Right, and by now I have tons of reviews. I also have a print book, and our print book is selling really well. So people. Probably what happens is they download the free book, they find it's so packed with information and resources, they want to buy the print book. So it not only brings me leads to my business because I have a very related offer in the book that they can download a print book template, and so then they are able to come into my list. I'm able to build leads, but I'm also selling print copies of the book. So anyways, books can be an automatic autopilot lead generator for your business, especially when you optimize them for the keywords people are searching to find your book. So there's so many reasons, and I could go on and on. You can tell, I'm just passionate. I just believe every business owner should have a book.
Oh, so great, Shelley. Now, I know the other thing that you shared with me that is so vitally important for people is to really have a marketing plan for their book. So what is that exactly, and how does somebody do that, or what's that about?
Yeah, it's interesting because I just recently sent out a survey to my list, and I wanted to know several things. And one of the questions I asked is, have you ever used a book marketing plan to market your book? And I'm still getting in responses, but so far, a couple hundred, people have replied, and it's about 60% of people of authors say they have never implemented a book marketing plan. So over half. And what would you think, Terry, if you were building a house and you decide to build that house without a blueprint? How successful do you think you would be?
Yeah, so there's no foundation to stand on with that house, so I don't know that I would want to buy that house.
Like, would you want your the people you hire, your construction crew, to just wing it?
Yeah, no. No, it needs to be a nice, solid foundation.
Yeah, you need a blueprint. You need to know, like, okay, what kind of, what sizes are the rooms going to be? What kind of, what's the space going to be? And then all the other details, the foundation, everything. And what I see a lot of authors doing is just jumping in and winging it and just going by, the spontaneous flow of, okay, I'm going to, the shiny, bright object syndrome that internet marketers know too. But authors do this too. It's like, oh, I'm going to do Facebook. Oh, I'm going to do Google+. I'm going to, try this. I'm going to try that. And, and a lot of times end up disappointed and disillusioned. But what I think would give authors so much more success is having that blueprint. having that plan. And I have a personal story that goes along with this. My husband and I started publishing books in 2008, and it wasn't until 2011 that we put together our first plan. You know, I'm a typical entrepreneur, and I always have ideas, and you know, just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try this, I'll try that, and I like that, you know, just being able to go with the flow. But again, you know, I realized I need to sit down and write out a plan. So we wrote out a 4-month book marketing plan, and it doesn't have to be that long. It can just be 30 days. It can be 21 days. It can be 1 week. You know, I mean, you can start with whatever you want. But we planned out 4 months, and in that 4 months, we ended up having our best sales ever, and we ended up, the book that we were focusing on became a #1 bestseller on Amazon. And so we achieved some amazing goals. Our sales increased tremendously, and it was all because we had a plan. And so that's why I just think it's so important just to take that space, and even with our business, you know, to take a step back, maybe once or twice a year, and really evaluate and say, okay, where am I going? What am I doing? What's working? What's not working? Because the other thing I see a lot of authors doing, and I've been guilty of this too, is to continue doing what's not working. And we do that in business sometimes too, don't we, Terry?
Oh yes, we sure do.
And so, you know, it's, you know, that's the part of the plan too, is like, you know, to continue to evaluate and say, okay, what's working, what's not working? Let me do more of what is working, and maybe cut off those things that are not working and try something else. Now, the other thing that you have to be careful of, though, is not to cut something off too early before you see the results. So to not give up, like, oh, I tried, you know, I'll talk to an author and they'll, oh, I tried Twitter. Well, what did you do? Well, you know, they tried it for maybe a month or something, you know? I mean, it wasn't long enough to really build an audience and build relationships and that sort of thing. Or they tried an email list, but they weren't really doing it in a relational, connecting way where they were sharing with their audience part of who they are in a way that they grow to know, like, and trust them. It's just more of a, you know, ad, you know, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. And so sometimes, you know, you don't want to just give up on something because it's not working, but also evaluate maybe why it's not working, or have someone come in that's outside your business and have them evaluate and look at things and say, maybe, you know, why is this not working? And I have a coaching client right now, it's an author, and he has this book, and it's great. And he's just like, I want to know your thoughts. Is the cover right? Is the title right? What's not working because it's not selling? And so I'm going to go through the process with him. So sometimes bringing someone outside in, and I do that too. You know, I have hired coaches to do that for my business too. But yeah, having a plan is essential.
Oh, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So, Shelley, how do students typically get started with you? Do they need to have a book written, or are you able to help them get started if they don't, so they're going from concept to completion, or is it better for them to have a book already ready just to get out into the marketplace?
You know, people can be at any part of the process with me. You know, one of the reasons I first started helping authors is because people would ask me, Shelley, how did you publish your book? You know, what steps did you take? You know, what tools did you use? How did you do this? How did you do that? And I love to teach. I love to share. I love to learn. And I've been doing internet marketing for over a decade, and I knew how to do websites. I knew how to do SEO and all those things, and so I decided to start a website to help authors to answer those questions they were asking me. So initially, I was helping authors with the process of self-publishing. Now, my passion really is marketing. For some reason, I just love the marketing side of things. But I can help an author get started, you know, from idea and conception and publish that book. I have a template and a series of a process that I use for ebook publishing as well as print book publishing, and then, you know, helping them once they have that book to then sell them. And so it can come at any part of the process.
I got it. So great. Thanks, Shelley. And now, if people were to get started, say today, you know, we're 3 months away from holidays, you know. If someone wants to get started today, what could their life look like in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? And I know you have an awesome story around 3 years from now. So, you know, what could somebody's life look like if they were to get going and get that book out of here, and into a piece of paper or online for somebody to read?
It could literally be just life-changing and transforming for them. What I find is that most people just get stuck somewhere along the process. And, you know, to be able to just keep moving forward one step at a time, if you're able to take that, you know, that thought, that goal that you have, whether it's to publish a book, whether it's to get your book out to more people, to bring in more leads, within 30 days, you could have grown your business even more. Within 90 days, you know, we're really close. If you're watching, you know, live, or if you're watching close to when we're live, we're really close to Christmas time. We have found, and we've noticed our book sales are the highest December and January. And the reason, you know, obviously Christmas is in December, and then January, everyone has their new toys. They have their phones and their iPads and their Kindles and all of that, so they're downloading tons of ebooks. And so this is really a great time. And you can actually, you know, have a chance to really benefit from the highest ebook buying and print book, you know, buying season of the year by taking action now and getting that book ready and published, or taking action now and setting up your book marketing plan for the next 3 months so that you can set yourself up for success. And it's interesting that you mentioned 3 years, because it was almost 3 years exactly to today that I officially quit my physical therapy job. I worked as a licensed physical therapist for 12 years. I loved my career. I was able to help people like I am now, able to help people, able to see a transformation in some way. Usually it was physical, but you know, I found a lot of people told me there's life stories and things too. And so I was able to be an encouragement to them, as well as, you know, I'm able to use that with authors too. But 3 years, you know, from that time to now, just a total difference. You know, if you would have asked me 3 years ago if I would have been an author coach, if I would have been an author of 33 books, you know, if I would have been doing all these things that I'm doing, I would have been like, no. That was, you know, I had no idea. But it was just one action at a time, one step at a time, consistent action over these last 3 years, and I have a completely different career and you know, a job that I love. I'm able to help people. I'm able to use my gifts and abilities, but in a different way. And it's just amazing what, you know, the difference in 3 years can be when you take, you set a goal, you decide to go for it, and you take consistent action.
Oh, that's so great, and thank you for sharing that story, because you never know where life can take you, right? So it's so great.
Oh my goodness. I call it the twists and turns of life.
Oh, they are. It's a crazy road. And it's never like A to B, right? It's
right.
Like you're all over the place, and then you get somewhere, and you're like, wow, how'd that happen? So very great. Thank you. You know, Shelley, are there specific roadblocks that your students typically find that prevent them from even getting started or putting their book up online?
I do think, you know, there's a lot of roadblocks, and, you know, some of them are, you know, pretty consistent between different people. One of the most common things I hear from authors is, or, you know, writers that want to be published authors is, I don't have enough time. Because a lot of times, like I said, you know, most of the time you're not going to earn a full-time income from your royalties. You're going to have a business, you're going to have another job, you're going to have other ways that you're earning income. And so, you know, you have a family, maybe volunteer opportunity or volunteer responsibilities, and so it's hard sometimes to find time to write the book. And so time can sometimes be one of the elements. Another common thing that I've seen is just fear. You know, and I think that's true with any business endeavor, right, Terry? I mean, you've seen that a lot too, haven't you?
Oh, absolutely. You know, most people are afraid to get started. They don't even think they can do it, so they just don't try. And it's a shame, because I've seen a lot of people who have great, brilliant ideas that they could be extremely successful with them, and they just don't even go.
Yeah.
You know? You're never going to know unless you actually pull the trigger and go, I'm going. So.
Yeah, I heard Tony Leidig give a presentation recently. He said he had a brilliant idea that just came to him one day, and it was just the best idea, and he never took action on it, and soon after he saw somebody else do the exact same thing, he's like, oh, I should have done that, you know? And the same thing with books, you know. Sometimes you have this idea like, oh, I have this idea for this book, you know, to promote my business or to get that message out, or to, you know, maybe it's a fiction book, even an idea, and, you know, you may not act on it. You may see somebody else have, you know, a lot of success with that same idea. But along with that, you know, the fear can sometimes be paralyzing. And, you know, it's that fear of, oh, there's something like that is going to be out there forever, you know. I heard someone say the other day that it was different for them. They write blog posts, they do videos, they do all these other things, and they publish content in you know, hundreds of different ways, but to write a book felt so permanent. However, you know, I love, you know, Bob Jenkins' motto of take action, revise later. You know, do something now. You know, you can have an editor look at it. You can, I mean, I've even gone back recently and had previous books that I published re-edited and improved. I mean, you can continue improving and you know, but if you don't ever get it on paper, you're never going to get it out there. And so, you know, fear is one of those things that can hold people back. And then another big one is just the lack of knowledge, or just being confused by all the different messages of how to self-publish or how to market your books. There's so many messages out there all the time. Who do I believe? Who do I follow? What method do I use? And sometimes it's that paralysis of analysis, you know, of just trying to figure it out and just getting stuck in that way.
Oh, great point, Shelley. Yeah, I can so relate. So thank you so much. Okay, so you know, let's turn it upside down now. We talked about some roadblocks. Are there maybe some strategies that are like the keys to unlock the roadblocks, those roadblock doors, so that people can achieve wild success?
Yeah, there definitely is, and I love that analogy. I'm a very visual person, and I see things in images, and so seeing that key, unlocking that door, it's like, yes, there is a way out. And as far as the time goes, you know, when I wrote my first book, I was working full-time as a physical therapist, and I was working part-time as a speaker. So on the weekends and on my days off, I'd be traveling with my husband speaking. And we didn't have kids at the time, but it was during that time that I was probably the busiest, because I also had responsibilities at church and in my community, that I wrote my first book. And one of the ways that I did that was by what a lot of people call blogging your book. So I would write articles on my website, and then a year later I found out about self-publishing, and I compiled, I edited, I added other information, made sure it transitioned well, and that became my first book. So that's one way you can do it. You can blog your book, or you can write it in pieces, you know, and just the snippets of time that you have. Another key to unlocking that time barrier, and even the fear barrier, is having an accountability partner. And I really recommend this. I've had 2 different writing accountability partners. Now, I know some people have accountability partners for exercise, for losing weight, for business, that sort of thing. But I actually had specific people. And we, one of the girls that I was with, she and I had a private Facebook group, and we would post in there our goals every week, and then we would post on there if we met them, if we didn't, and it really, really helped me, you know, to continue taking those steps forward. And it was during a time that I was feeling a little bit stuck. So that's something that you can also try, you know, with, you know, overcoming those things. And also, if time is a barrier for you, one of the things I did early on when I was writing my first book, and it wasn't necessarily because I was writing a book, but at that time my husband and I had decided to turn off our cable. And I know a lot of people are like, man, how can you live without cable? But you know what? It was one of the best things for us, because instead of sitting, because if the TV's there, I will watch it. And instead of watching TV, I'm like, what do I do now? What do I do now? And be like, oh, okay, I can write a blog post. You know, I can write a website article. I can, you know, do this. And that's when I really started getting more writing done, is when I didn't have all those distractions. Natalie Collins has started something called the National Writing Date Day, and I love the concept. So what you do is you set aside a chunk of time to write. And what it doesn't have to be just on the date she has set, but you can do it anytime. And my husband and I have done this very successfully. So another book that we wrote called Forgiveness Formula, one of the ways that I got that book written, I was still working full-time at that time as well, we did a writing retreat. So it's kind of like a whole writing date weekend where we set aside that time to write. I know my colleague Kristen Eckstein, she will take writing vacations, and she'll go on vacation. She'll write on the beach or write on the cruise ship or wherever she's at, and write her books in chunks of time that way too. So if time's an element, maybe you take a vacation day and spend that day writing. You lock yourself up somewhere without internet access, turn off your phone, those types of things. And, that has really been powerful for me as well. As far as the fear goes, I think, being able to set a deadline and being able to maybe even make it public, sharing with either a group of people or even maybe posting on Facebook, hey, I'm writing a book, tentative publish date is, November 2015 or December 2014 or whatever it is, and, having some accountability that way. But one of the things that really has gotten me unstuck when I really, really get stuck, whether it's fear or whatever, is mind mapping. It's really amazing how that can get you unstuck. And, some people don't like to mind map on the computer. Like I was talking to Nicole Dean the other day, and she prefers to mind map, on paper. So whatever, your brain works best with, you can mind map on paper and just start, writing out the things that you need to do on that project to take the next step. And for instance, last December, I translated my first book to Spanish. And I had the translation back. I had, everything ready to go. I had the cover pretty much, ready because it was the same cover as my other book, my English book. But I was stuck. And what I did is I just sat down and I mind mapped out the steps. What are the exact steps I need to take to get this book published? And within a week, I had that book published. And I had been stuck for, I think, a month or two, just sitting on that project, months, And so I think mind mapping can really help too when you feel stuck and that fear just wants to paralyze you. Get those things on paper. What's the next little step you can take? Maybe that next little step is doing that next research component or that next formatting component or whatever. And so, just to get unstuck. And then, with the knowledge or being confused is to find someone that has had success, find someone that has a system, find someone that has done what you want to do and use their system and be able to follow a system that has already been proven and that can be repeatable for you. You can spend time, and there's tons of information out there that you can learn how to format on your own, market, all of those things. But at this point in my career, I prefer to know what works. Don't you, Terry?
Oh, I sure do. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like if something, you can try something, but if you know something works and you know something has been used and you know something has had results, you have so much more confidence using that. And so if you're stuck in that method, it's to find someone that has done that and use the tools and resources that they have. Maybe even hire a coach, that has done what you want to do and to move to the next level.
Oh, brilliantly said. Which, I know that you have a wonderful template and coaching program that our audience members can go out and go get. Can you tell us a little bit about your coaching program that you have on getting your book published?
Yeah, this was one of my first products that I created for authors, and it was just because of the demand. Authors kept asking me for this information, and it's called eBook Publishing Success, how to publish and profit from ebooks. And so what it is it's basically a system that I've used. My publishing company has published over 50 books now. I personally have written and published 33, but we've used the same system for all of those books. And it's a Microsoft Word template. So we have two different templates. One is a little more for nonfiction, one more for fiction, but you can use whichever one you prefer. And we we just take you step by step through the steps of formatting, uploading, and getting your book published. And the awesome thing is that once you have a system for your books, you can use that same system over and over again. One of the biggest things that we have seen that helps to sell books is to publish books in a series. So, if you have a book and it's like a bigger book that you're thinking about publishing, why not break up that book into 3 parts or 4 parts or however many make sense into smaller ebooks, and then publish, once all those ebooks are published, publish the big book at the end. And I've done that over and over with several different of my series. And so, if you have a system and you want to publish a series, which I highly recommend, fiction or nonfiction, then you can use the same system to profit over and over and over again. So we recently updated the entire system. I first offered it in 2011, and it's updated to 2014. Everything, we went through the whole process. I almost thought about not having the product anymore, but I knew that I needed to offer something like this to authors because this is the starting point. This is where you're going to get started. eBooks are by far our highest income generating books. And so if you do nothing else, publish a Kindle ebook.
Oh, so great, guys. And you can find Shelly's blueprint right here, or over here. Okay, here it is. At, terrybork.com/ebook. And it's so reasonably priced, and it's such a great way to have a template for everything that you need to get that book from here onto paper so you can have success, so that you can have bigger success during this holiday season and into the beginning of next year to set yourself up for an awesome winter. So it's so great. So you'll find it right here at terrybork.com/ebook. Is there anything else you want to share with us about the ebook, Shelley?
Well, one thing I didn't say is that we also teach you how to format and publish your book for Smashwords, which is a distributor to all the major ebook platforms. So if you want your ebook on Nook, on iBookstore, on Kobo, it will do that. But also, if you want to use the technique that I have used to use an ebook as a lead generator and to have it price matched on Amazon, you can then learn through our program how to format and upload to Smashwords, have it to price it free on those ebook platforms, and then notify Amazon that it is free on those other platforms. It took about 6 weeks for them to price match my book, and there have been at times that they decide not to price match a book for whatever reason, but that is also an opportunity for you in that program. And Terry, I just wanted to also offer for your listeners, anyone that buys the program, I also want to be able to give them our ebook cover template program called Cover Mania. It's a $25 value, and what it is it's a bunch of templates that you can use for your ebook cover. So not only will you have templates for the interior to upload to Kindle, but also for your cover. Now, we do recommend that you make them your own, you customize them, but you can literally just send, find the one that you like and send it to someone on Fiverr and say, hey, can you update this with my title, with this picture, with these colors? Or, you can do it yourself, or you can hire a designer, but it makes it so much easier sometimes just to have that template and to know what fonts look good, what colors go good, those types of things. Sometimes I'll mix and match 3 different templates together for a cover, and it just helps me having something to start with.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Shelley, for sharing the cover template as well. My audience is gonna love that. Thank you. So guys, you get the inside and the outside. You get the facts on how to do the blueprint and get that book created, and then you can actually put a cover on it so it looks gorgeous, so that people who see it up on Amazon are gonna say, "Ooh, that looks interesting. What's that about?" Very awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. And a book cover is one of the first impressions. I will tell you from personal experience, just looking at a book cover, even if the book is available for free as a free download, if the book cover is poorly done, I won't even download it because then it makes me wonder, what is the book like? And you may have written the best book, but if you don't have a good cover, you're not going to draw in the readers, especially with the competition that's out there today. So take time, make sure you have a professionally looking cover, and that you know, the title is readable in a thumbnail. All of those things. There's so many things to consider, but the book cover is so important.
Oh, right on. Yes, I totally agree. So, guys, you know, we're just about at the end of our program today, and I also promised you that by sticking around that we have a very special gift for you today, and you can find it right here at terrybork.com/Shelley Free, and Shelley is spelled SHELLEY, Shelley Free, and that is a very special gift. It's a $27 gift, and it's building a book marketing plan, that Shelley's book that she was talking about earlier. So, you know, go grab that, go pick that up, just for being a special guest here today, as a special thank you, and thank you for sharing that with our listeners as well, Shelley.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so great. So, Shelley, any last word that you'd like to leave our audience with today?
I just want to encourage everyone, no matter where you're at in your career, whether you're seeing success right now or you're feeling discouraged or wherever you're at right now, to keep moving forward. There was a time that my husband and I were in over $70,000 of debt, and it seemed like this mountain of just impossibility. And step by step, we were able to pay off that debt. And it was after we were able to pay off that debt, I was able to quit my job, was able to, you know, work for myself. But then there's been obstacle after obstacle. And, you know, I just encourage everyone just to keep taking that next step. Keep going. I recently finished a race. It was called the Pikes Peak Ascent. It was a half marathon starting from the base of Pikes Peak, going all the way up to the top. You know, you cover over 7,000 feet elevation gain. It was tough. It was the hardest thing I've ever done physically. I'm not an elite athlete. I can do it, but it felt almost impossible to achieve, and yet through my training, through every little thing, you know, I just kept moving forward, and I was able to finish that race. And when I got to the top of the mountain, it was almost like this epiphany, like this is such, you know, this is such an illustration of what so many authors go through. You know, the struggle, the fear, you know, I literally almost had a panic attack at one point thinking, I'm not going to finish this race and the cutoff, and yet being able to cross that finish line. It was one of the best feelings in my life, and so I encourage you to keep taking that next step. Set your goals. Do whatever you need to do to be able to cross that finish line, whatever that means for you. If it's publishing the book, if it's, you know, making, you know, more sales, getting more leads, whatever it is, keep going and never, 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 never give up.
Oh, so great, Shelley. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for being a delightful guest today. I loved having you on our program, and our audience now knows why. I just loved meeting you at NAMS, and so enjoy learning from you today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Terry.
Oh, it's my special pleasure. And, you know, we're always looking for entrepreneurs who are adding value to communities. So if you know someone that we should speak with, be sure to let me know so we can have them featured as a guest on one of our upcoming episodes. My name is Terry Bork, and until next time, I remind you to go mind your business and have a wonderful day. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thank you for listening to Go Mind Your Business with Terry Bork, presented by Extreme Marketing Concepts. If you want to drive more traffic, dominate the market, and crush your competition, find out how by visiting our website, www.extrememarketingconcepts.com. And join Terry next time for another episode of Go Mind Your Business.